So a little bit something different. Ordering parts for the 8163T. P-Series carburetor and manifold. P-Series air cleaner setup. Still need an air filter, but I can handle that. And a shift plate. So it'll be $133.50. Get the credit card out. So ordering pots, be working on 8,000. Alrighty guys, so I got the new carb for the 8163T in the shop here. And considering this is going to be a different video, I think, I'll tell you guys I had a charging system problem, which I thought was, but it's actually the key switch is intermittently not putting 12 volt to the voltage regulator. So I know what's going on there. I'll have to buy a key switch. But regardless, anyhow, bought this carb off eBay. I believe I paid $70 for it. The reason I paid $70 for it was there was one on there that was cheaper, but it had they wanted like $21 to ship it or something. This had free shipping, so in my eyes, that's the better deal. And this also has the adapter plate on it. So this is like the early, what do you want to call it? Like pre they weren't out of the B-Series manifolds. And they were putting the P-Series Nicky carbs on. That's the adapter you need to put on the intake manifolds from what I understand. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull this carb off, and you guys are going to be like, Steve, we've heard this thing run good. Yeah, you've heard it run good, but you guys haven't heard all the swearing I have done at this carburetor to get it to run even halfway decent. So, and it'll only run halfway decent for, I don't know, half an hour or something. Next time you might start it up, it might flood, might start surging. These carburetors are very, very particular, and let's face it, I'm not a very particular kind of guy. It needs an absolutely clean fuel system. It needs absolute ethanol-free gas, and these carburetors will run great. But unless you have all three of those things going on, you'll always have this kind of trouble with these carbs. So the remedy to that situation is sitting here, and these carbs will normally run good for 3 months to a year. I put one of these on the 818, and this has fixed almost 100% of the problems with that thing. I clean the carb maybe once a year, something like that. It'll get some ethanol to it, and then you'll have to clean it. It'll start surging and carrying on, won't idle. So regardless, the other reason I bought this was it has one governor rod clip on it, and I don't know if anybody's ever noticed, but it's missing one there. It's wire tied on. So alright guys, I'm going to pull this carb off, and I also have to put an inline vacuum pump on this, which is not a big deal. I have one sitting right here, because I actually put this on this motor testing to see if the fuel pump was good, and it seemed like it was. So I'll have to get that baby in there somewhere. I'm debating about I kind of like having the fuel shut off there, but it would make it real easy if I just take the fuel shut off of there and put the fuel pump right there. That's a thought I have, although it may be getting a little too close to the exhaust. So I may, because I would like to have it laying back there on top of the transmission, but I don't think I have enough fuel line to do that at this time. So anyhow, I'm gonna get some work done, and I'll show you guys what it does here. I guess I could crank it up. No, I don't want to fill the shop with smoke. It's kind of chilly out right now. It's not real warm in the shop, but it's warm while I'm at work during the day, so it's fairly nice when I come home at night. Cold outside, but pretty decent inside. So anyhow, let me get this taken apart, and I'll show you guys the differences. I have mildly showed this on the 818, but try and do it a little bit better with this. Show you the difference between the carbs and and whatnot. So here we go. I do have an air filter setup coming for this too. It just hasn't showed up yet. It'll probably be United States Postal Service says Monday. The air cleaner setup would be here, but maybe it'll be here Friday. Never know. I didn't check it tonight before I come out here, but anyhow, here we go. So here is the what the heck? I think these are. This is a Marvel Schneider carb, Marvel Schrader carb, how you pronounce it. But I think it's that carb. I will look it up and I will insert the name right here. Right here. Versus the P Series Nikki carb in the back there. And I'm sitting here looking at this and what does that one sit a whole lot higher? Oh, okay, I see. Well, no, that's the same. See that one sitting up? That one's sitting up back there too, so it sits up a lot higher, but see it has a more low pro air filter. The air filter housing is only about yay tall, where on this it's a good 3 or 4 inches tall. And I don't have an air filter or a housing handy for this to show you guys, but there's not a whole lot of difference height wise. I was thinking to myself, wow, that is a huge difference, but it's not because of the difference in the air filter housings. So I won't be able to finish this video up until I get an air filter housing. And I need to get an air filter ordered because Steve didn't really think about that. I also forgot I had the heater on behind me. So I was trying to figure out why I was getting hot. Anyhow, yeah. So pretty much I'm just gonna wing it and put this on because I can clean it on there as good as I can clean it off of there. The only thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scrape the intake gaskets off of this because they look pretty yep, as I lose the bolts. Nice, Steve. Anyhow, they look pretty interesting, we'll say. This one over here is half gone. So I'm gonna clean them up. I bought a carb kit for one of these for on the 818, and I'm pretty sure it has intake gaskets in it, so I'm going to scrape the gasket off of there and check out the mating surfaces down here. I think they're pretty good. I think there's actually, yeah, the gasket's actually still on there, so I'm gonna have to make up my mind there. Huh, it's funny, it actually has a place for the fuel pump like the CCKA's had. Interesting. But looking down there at the intake valves, they look nice and clean. Hopefully you guys can see that, but they look nice and clean to me, so. Anyhow, I'm going to get this cleaned up, and we'll slap this manifold back on here. And then, start running the fuel lines to the pump, and just see if this baby's going to sing or not. Should sing somewhat. What's the worst thing happens? It does what it did before, right? Right. Here we go. Alrighty guys, so I got the gasket cleaned off of there, and I decided to go ahead and open the carb up because, you know, sure shit I didn't. It would have been full of ethanol or something, but it's really clean. That's all I can tell you guys. It's really clean inside. Especially for one of these. The gasket was good. Gasket came off in one piece. Looks decent, so I'm gonna pull her back together and see what happens. That's all I can do. Can't do no more. So stick this back together and then we're pretty much ready to drop this on. And I'm gonna double check and make sure the governor linkage is right. Just because you know, I don't want it to rev to the moon when I start it. That's a showstopper. Should I make sure air blue's in here? Probably. I'll check that. Then, here we go again. Bolt her back together, bring you guys back. Alright guys, I got the fuel lines hooked up right now. I need a longer piece of hose for here. So for right now, this is temporary setup. I just want to see if it'll run right. And then, I'll get some more fuel hose from work tomorrow while I'm at work. So without further ado, the choke's hooked up, gas is on, fuel pump is in line. Like I said, it's mocked up. Let's just see if it'll run. If it runs, how well? Is it flooded, guys? I think I'm going to have to clean that carb. So at the moment it just won't idle, right? So that's not too awful bad. I can tinker with it a little bit here and see what I can get it to do. So I blew some carb cleaner down through the idle jet is all I took. I don't know if it'll stay like that, but it's running real late right now. Nice. Not too shabby. I'd say it's a little rich on the right-hand bank, I think. It pops and bangs a little bit if you throttle up or down, throttle down too quick. Let me put my ear plugs in. I don't know if that's because I almost accidentally broke the plug wire or what. I don't know. throttle cable a little bit, but seems to be working alright. So I don't know if you guys could see that through the camera or not, but a lot of times when you were revving it up or when I was revving it up and down, you could see black soot out of each pipe. So to me that means it's a little bit rich. There's not a whole pile I could do about that. The only thing I might try and do is these have like a tamper-proof cap on them, so you can only adjust them so far in the main. What I may do is break the cap off and adjust it in a little bit more and just see if it makes it better. Less backfiring and stuff, because you figure it's only going to get richer if you put an air filter on it. That tends to richen them up, you know, not significantly, but it makes the air doesn't flow through an air filter as well as it does without an air filter, is the best way to explain it. So that's my thoughts right now, but it does run pretty decent, so that's what I was looking for. And if I can get that backfire cleared up in that, that'll be great. The only thing I can think of, the right hand side, the exhaust manifold gasket, I never have replaced that yet, so it's getting more air to it, and is why it's popping like the afterburn, or the valve's hanging up on that side or something. But it runs pretty, it pulls good to have a valve hanging up. So. Alright guys, that's going to be it for me tonight. About 7:40. Doesn't seem like it with it being daylight now, but that's what I wanted to see. I just wanted to see if it would run decent with one of these carbs on or not. And what I'm going to need. And basically I'm going to need fuel line. Gonna need fuel line and maybe lean the carb out some. So. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I'm gonna catch everybody in the next one. Later. Hopefully I'm not too loud. I still have my ear plugs are in. Maybe my nose is only sticking in the shock too. I don't know. No, I'm thinking I was probably in there a little bit. Yeah, I forgot how easy them tamper-proof caps were to take off. So I'll try adjusting it and see what it runs like then. Let you guys know. The other thing I'm seeing is oil right here on top of the engine adapter plate. So I don't know if it's actually coming from the engine, or is it coming from the transmission? Or is it just getting flung up through there? Well, time will tell. To me it looks like you can see straight down in and see like where the orange is there, not over there. So that's what I'm thinking anyhow, but that'll be a whole different ball of wax here I have to deal with. So let me crank this back up 1 second and see what it does.